Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Apex Racing TV for the Club73 Touring Car Championship presented by World League Sim Racing. My name is Andrew Woodhouse, and I'm joined once again by Adam Bath, Sam Fitzpatrick, and on the cameras, iRacing World Championship driver Alex Simpson. Adam, I'll bring you in first, mate. Road America. Here it always gives good racing on Apex Racing TV, and we've seen that in the BSR Renault, we've seen that in the BSR TC, and also in the V8 Supercars. So we're going to be in for a good one, I reckon.
Yeah, the Kia Optima seems to handle pretty well around this Road America circuit. The long straights and the fast corners seems to provide a lot of good racing. We saw the Mustangs a bit in the Ritmatech Sports Car Series as well. We may only have 3 of them here today, but yeah, we saw some good racing there. Pretty chaotic race, in fact, at Road America. Not something you'd expect from the Ritmatech Series. And yeah, the Jetters, as always, doesn't matter what track they race on, they always seem to be jam-packed together. So yeah, Road America should provide quite a spectacle in the 2 races we've got today. With due to a bit of a technical issue, we've got a pit stop for the Jetters in race 1.
Yeah, it looks like we have. Slight mistake, I think, with the fixed setup. So it's going to be a pit stop required. And Sam, it could make the strategy quite interesting, mate. Do you pit early? Do you pit straight away, or do you wait until the end? It could be an interesting choice for the drivers out there.
Yeah, it's been a question throughout the season in the second race, and they don't really seem to agree. That throughout the season, there's been a wide range of when drivers have actually pitted, but it's going to be interesting to see actually with this 15-minute race because, yeah, I guess these drivers would have never done a pit stop in a 15-minute race before, so yeah, it could be quite interesting come the end.
If you're the championship.
Yeah, go on, sorry, mate.
Yes, yeah, going into round 11, Michael Hall leads the way ahead of Stephen Baxter by 37 points. This is in the Kias, by the way. Chris Wood in 3rd, 4th, Dennis Melcher, 5th, Sam Reed. The top 5 separated by 114 points. And then Pete Howard in 6th with his teammate Miguel Freitas in 7th. There's Mark Woodhouse in 8th, Scott Malcolm 9th, and Ian Roskell rounding at the top 10 there. Over to the Mustangs, where we've got John Roberts leading Clinton Bell, and then in joint 3rd it is White and Lewis Bibby. Bibby has switched over to the Kias for this race meeting. I wonder if that'll be for the rest of the season. We'll wait and see. And over in the Jetters, we've got Steve Hooper and Dawson. Only 4 points between them in the championship. That is pretty close there, with Adam Hedgecock in 3rd, Tim Mawson 4th, and David Ayres in 5th place. Only 42 points separating the top 5 in the Jetters.
It's very, very close category, and Alex, I'll bring you in just before we conclude the qualifying, because I know you love this circuit, so it's always good to get some words from you. There's a much longer lap here, of course, than what we're used to in the series, so probably a chance that the Jetters aren't going to end up getting lapped on in this first race.
Yeah, I think.
Well, no, sorry, they will actually, because they've got a pit, haven't they?
Of course, yes. Well, there was a chance they might not have done had we not had that little glitch. So, yeah, it's a long circuit. Great circuit, lots of overtaking opportunities, a great flow. I mean, I think Road America's got a bit of everything. One of those underestimated tracks, so high-speed sections, medium-speed corners, some high-speed corners, like the carousel is fantastic. And then you've got that sort of slow-speed section at the end of the second straight, you know, and some great undulation changes as well. Canada Corner, always a very, very tricky one. Great for overtaking, but yeah, can get that wrong so easy as well. And the final corner always very tricky. How many cars do we see in the tyre wall on the right hand side of that one? So yeah, it's going to be a good race today, and yeah, Kias are going to be well suited for this. The Jettas are going to have an extremely close one. Shame about the Mustang field, but nonetheless, I still think we'll have a good 3-car battle between them.
Yeah, I think you're right. By the way, good to see you back in the World Championship, mate, yesterday. And I know it didn't go very well, but
Okay.
still good to see you back.
Thank you.
That's what we like. So I'm sure we'll get a word with you later on.
Hoping to see the back of that one.
Well, yeah, gone. Well and truly gone. I think he doesn't want to see the Nürburgring until probably go back to the Sim Expo in 2018. Chris Wood, what a lap from him, Adam, so far in the qualifying. He's 7/10 clear of Michael Hall, and really that's one of the biggest margins we've seen all season.
Yeah, the Kia, it doesn't get much bigger than that in terms of gaps, and Chris Wood doing a fantastic job against Michael Hall, who was, of course, the championship leader going into this one. So, yeah, very good job from Chris Wood there, sitting in third position in the championship, 57 points behind. Obviously, we're still yet to include the various drop scores and so forth. But yeah, Chris Wood doing a fantastic job. Late lap by someone just coming across the line there. I think it was Freitas to move himself up into 7th position. But yeah, Chris Wood, hopefully he'll be able to hold on to that in this first sprint race that we've got coming up.
See what he can do. Sam overtaking is very possible around this circuit. You know, there's a lot of places, a lot of heavy braking areas, most notably into what is turn 5 apparently, but what we call turn 3, the tight left-hander at the end of the back straight, and also Canada corner. And you can get a move done into turn 1 as well, but you have to be kind of alongside, don't you?
Yeah, and also turn 2. There's really not a place, I guess, where you can't overtake around here. It is a slipstream circuit. Kind of half the circuit is just straight. You kind of got the pit straight, and then down to turn 3, that's kind of a large margin of the lap. So expect quite long queues, and I doubt we're going to probably get a breakaway leader in the Kias particularly, but also the VWs as well. So yeah, it should be very entertaining, this one.
I think you're right. Adam, what are you looking forward to seeing out there on the circuit?
Look forward to see how the Jettas get on, because we always see them so close together, but on the back straight and on the front straight as well, seeing them having to get up that massive hill, which could be a bit of a struggle in these Jettas, that's going to be something that I'll be watching out for, especially with the championship being so close, which we alluded to earlier.
I think you're right, and only 0.8 of a second separating the top 5 in that category. So with the slipstream, you would feel around here that would be enough to keep the pack well and truly together. In the Kia, it's quite close as well. Once you get past Chris Wood, between 2nd and 8th, just 0.3 of a second in it. So yeah, absolutely very, very close series. Well, we'll get good racing in the Club 73 Touring Car Championship. We hope to see some more of it here. Qualifying just about to end. Checker flag is out. Drivers will be getting ready for the first 15-minute race of the evening. Adam, if you can do the honours and take us through the starting grid, as we have a 27-degree track temperature today, so fairly good conditions.
Okay, so Chris Wood starts on the pole position, second Michael Hall, third, 2 thousandths behind him, it is Sam Reed with Dennis Melcher fourth, Mark Woodhouse in fifth, Lee Berridge in sixth with Miguel Freitas seventh, Stephen Baxter, car 888, aptly starting in 8th position, and then Scott Malcolm starting in 9th. Then we've got 3 Mustangs for this opening race. We've got John Roberts, Stuart Atkinson, and the Canadian Dale Green in third. Then into the Jettas, we've got Tim Mawson on the pole, Ryan Walker second, Alexis Molina in third, fourth is Steve Hooper in the championship leader in the Jettas, and then Adam Hedgecock in fifth, sixth David Ez, aptly named again, aptly numbered, sorry, with car 666, and then Robert Lundgren in seventh, and then the cars that didn't set times, they're starting at the back, it's Lewis Bibby, Sean Gardner, and starting at the very back in 22nd, it's Stephen Dawson.
Lewis Bibby moved over from the Ford Mustangs, as he's been frequenting that category. Sam, quick one from you before the start. Who's your money on in both those categories, do you think?
Oh, well, I think...
and the Mustang, even.
Yeah, well, Mark Woodhouse had a great season, but from 5th place, it's going to be tough. So I reckon Chris Wood, because he did look very good in qualifying. Really impossible to call in the Mustangs. Stuart Atkinson's been great this season, so perhaps he'll take the win. And then Tim Mawson and Ryan Walker looking good in the Jetters, so I imagine it's going to be one of them. But Alexis Molina as well has been very good this season.
Yeah, he has. Internet problem solved for Molina, and he's a force to be reckoned with here. So here we go then. Ready for the start. Round 1 of the Club 73 Touring Car Championship. Go now as the green light is on. It's a good start by Michael Hall from second place. Already trying to get an overlap with Chris Wood. Wood's got to cover the inside if he wants to maintain this lead. Great qualifying pace. But Michael Hall's a really, really tough competitor, a really strong racer. Around the outside, in turn 1 goes Michael Hall. He's going to have the momentum as well. Into turn 2, there's a slight right-hand kink here. Hall fairly late on the brakes. He leaves the space for Wood. Going round the outside, and now it's the long drag Adam down to what should be turn 3.
Chris, we're trying to get a bit of a side draft on Michael Hall there as we go down the back straight under the cheese bridge and on the way into the 90-degree left-hander. Michael Hall on the inside now, Chris Wood on the outside. It's all going to be about who's the latest on the brakes, and watch out for Sam Reed as well, having a little look at the inside, not able to get through there, and Lee Berridge now trying to get in the mix as the boosted cars all scramble for their own bit of track. Michael
Hall is into the lead then, and Mustangs see John Roberts ahead of Stuart Atkinson, Dale Green in third. Then the Jetters, it is Tim Mawson and Ryan Walker, just as Sam was predicting, getting off to a very, very good start. And they'll look to try and break away now, Sam. It's important in these early laps to try and get a gap, because especially around this circuit where big packs can form.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Ryan Walker actually started in second place, so he's got the jump on his teammate. But yeah, Alexis Molina, he's not going to let them have this. No chance. So he's going to stay very close. And with the pit stop as well for the Jetters, I reckon it's going to be quite interesting. Molina tends to pit quite early in the race, so I wonder if he's going to pit on this opening lap.
Good point, actually. He may well do.
Chris Wood through into the lead.
Oh, look at that, fighting back then. Regaining the lead that he lost in turn 2. We'll see now if he can use that qualifying pace to break away at the front. Who's going to pit on lap 1? I think we've got to keep an eye on the Jetters here. Adam Molina does look quick here, so it'll be a big decision whether he comes into the pits or not, really.
Yeah, the cheese and wine car seems to be the drivers that usually decide to pit on the end of the opening lap. We'll see what happens now. Through the final corner they go. The top 3 are all staying out, so are the guys in 4th place. In fact, the most of the top group have all decided to stay out on this opening lap.
Yeah, interesting decision. I think they are thinking about the slipstream that they would lose. You know, if they did come into the pits, I think that's an issue that they're having to think about.
Car off! It's Berridge and Dennis Melcher. Quarter panel across the track he goes and into the wall.
Side by side for the lead in the Jetters as well. Walker has taken the lead from Mawson. Mawson battling hard with Molina now. Bit sideways through the second corner, and Sam, very hard fought battling going on in the opening couple of laps.
Oh yes, and it really doesn't look like these guys are going to be able to pull away from each other. You can see the slipstream effect on this car is just so massive. But I wonder perhaps they could, the cheese and wine cars could perhaps position their cars to protect themselves from Molina, so pretty much blocking the straight by having the 2 cars side by side. I don't know if they'll try that, but they've got quite a few options in those 2 cars, so yeah, it's going to be tough for Molina to win this.
Now I'm just checking to see whether it was right. So the official word was, because I just sort of skimmed it earlier on, was that the Jetters only may need a pit stop, Adam. So they might decide to do it if they're going to be tight on fuel. So it's going to be quite close, I imagine, from what they're saying. So there might be some saving going on, especially in these early laps. Maybe while the draft is prominent.
Works well for cheese and wine, doesn't it? Because they can sort out the fuel mileage themselves. Because Ryan Walker will be leading the way. Obviously, he'll be using the fuel because he's trying to stay in the lead. But Tim Mawson can hold on behind you. Use the slipstream. You can lift and coast. Even though it doesn't look like it at the moment, he's trying to get by for the lead, but they'll be trying everything they can to try and minimise the risk of having to make that pit stop.
I think you're right, and I think that they'll be trying to get properly away first of all, and then try and manage the fuel. That's the ideal scenario for Cheese and Wine. However, Molina's very, very quick, and they're going to struggle to drop him. So, and Steve Hooper as well, who's had a good season so far. He's right in there. Molina right with Tim Mawson now. Mawson it's not pulling very hard up the straight there. That number 46 Jetta. And now Ryan Walker's inadvertently giving the slipstream to Molina.
Got no help at all, is he? It's like Super Speedway racing in NASCAR here, and he's going for the... Oh, what was that? Net code? But I don't know, but he's through.
That's not net code. I think he made contact there with the Cheese and Wine car. And Hooper trying to take advantage as well. And Sam, how did you see that one?
Well, I don't know if that was netcode, but yeah, it just seemed to be a bit of contact. Maybe he didn't quite anticipate his braking. I wonder if anything, maybe Ryan Walker tried to brake a little bit early to help out his teammate on the inside, and that just that caused the issue. But yeah, who knows? But he's still trying to go for the lead here. Molina trying to go around the outside, and that's not going to quite work. So he just holds his position for now.
I think there was a tiny bit of netcode. Alex, I wonder if you can sort of tell us what you saw from your point of view, because it looked like there was a tiny bit of netcode, but I think Molina was steaming in too quickly anyway.
Yeah, I think he was. Sorry, just updating paints. Apparently they haven't updated. Yeah, it's a tough one. I just think he just misjudged that, really. He had a good opportunity there to get a run on both of them, and he probably should have just backed out of that. One car was enough. I don't think he really had any business going for a second one. He definitely tried to go for something there, I think. But yeah, just a bit of a misjudge. No malice or anything like that. Just a little mistake. Fortunately, Ryan was able to salvage, sort of save the car before it hit the tyre wall, and he's still in with the shout, only a couple of seconds back. So, yeah, almost no harm, no foul.
Not really a corner where Adam, where you can actually have a lunge, really. The braking area is not. Yeah.
We've seen some big crashes in the BSRTC from people that have decided to have lunges into the first corner. If anything, you've got to be a bit patient, because 2 corners time, you've got another long straightaway. You can try and get the other car that's in front of you, as a Dennis Melcher tries to. Oh dear me, that was nearly a disaster.
I think you're spot on, really, there. This long straight, very, very profitable when it comes to the slipstream. And speaking of somebody trying to make a profit now, is Sam Reed. Stephen Baxter's the one he's in combat with at the minute. Inside he goes into the left-hander, trying to keep this position. Baxter looking for third, and going through in good style there. That's an impressive move by Stephen Baxter. The gap between Chris Wood and Michael Hall, well, you can see it on the screen, it's not very much at all, is it? Just a couple of tenths of a second between Wood and Hall. Started first and second on the grid, as it started on the front row that are currently there, Adam. 2.
Quite remarkable, isn't it? Yeah, going through as he goes for the carousel under the sausage bridge, and yeah, fantastic racing here in the Kias. Miguel Frazier's overtook Lee Berridge, or was fighting with Lee Berridge on that lap. It was pretty close there as they go through the kink, one of the fastest corners, and yeah, Wood and Hall there, they've still got their gap between just 3 tenths of a second, as we've got just 6 minutes to go.
Good Kia battle, actually. 2.5 seconds separate the top 7 drivers. Wood, Hall, Reed, Baxter, Woodhouse, Freitas, Berridge is the order. And yeah, some excellent driving going on there. We've got Scott Malcolm and Sean Gardner pretty close together, about half a second is the gap there. John Roberts leads by 6 seconds over Stuart Atkinson, so Roberts absolutely hauling ass, shall we say, to get away from his boosted colleague. And Tim Mawson now, Sam, has a 1.2 second lead because of the collision actually earlier on, and there was another collision I think there possibly between Walker and might have been Stephen Dawson.
Yeah, I've been following this battle for about the last half a lap, and it's just 3 wide constantly, pretty much. Molina's gone from second to, I think, 6th on this lap, so he's had a terrible run, but yeah, these guys are just going like hammer and tongs now and just putting everything on the line, but it's costing them a lot of time. I think Tim Mawson's probably far enough out in the lead now. It's actually side by side going into Canada corner, and I wonder actually if Ryan Walker and Alexis Molina have got damage to their car because they have fallen down the field a little bit.
Right, Walker trying to desperately get by Stephen Dawson here. He did give him a bit of a nudge earlier on in the lap, but yeah, these four cars here made up of Dawson, Walker, Hedgecock and Molina, all starting to lose time to the two cars in front. Stephen Baxter's now trying to get past Michael Hall, so we've got two battles going on the track here. Baxter trying to get into second place, and I think he has. Oh my word, it's all kicking off here. 2 by 2, 3 deep going into the left-hander. Baxter going for the lead and has got it.
Stephen Baxter then looking very, very impressive, and he's very quickly caught the front two and wasted no time in passing them. Stephen Baxter now at the head of the field from Wood and then Hall, and then in fourth place is Reed, and then it's Woodhouse, and then it's Freitas. Then Lee Berridge on the back of that group, Northern Lights Racing driver usually, and yeah, this is a very, very close battle. We've got, how long left? About 5 minutes.
Just under 4 minutes left.
4 minutes. Wide. Is that Reed? He had to take evasive action. I think he nearly ran into the back of Hall, going into Canada corner. And that meant that group's now fragmented. A 3 at the front and then a 4. So Reed needs to get his head down now, Sam, and really try to get back up into this with this top 3.
Yeah.
Oh, he's off the track. He's in the gravel, and well, that's not going to help his progress, is it?
Yeah, he holds on to fourth place, but he might be a bit vulnerable down the straight. Is Chris Wood going to go for the Mio? I wonder if he's just going to hold back for now, Chris Wood and Michael Hall as well. We've got side by side between that Mark Woodhouse on the outside. We got Says trying to go. Oh, Mark! Yeah, that was always going to happen.
No, he saved it. Good save there, but I think he nearly ran into the back of Sam Reed. He was carrying a lot of speed, Woodhouse, and yeah, maybe too much. That's exactly what happened to Reed at Canada corner, Adam.
No grip on that outside at all, yeah, and he was very unlucky to have to get onto the grass and the gravel a little bit, and the car got away from him, and he's lost that slipstream now. So I think 7th position for Mark Woodhouse is as good as it's going to get for him in this opening race. But the top 3, that battle continues to rage on. It's Michael Hall in 3rd, Chris Wood in 2nd, and Stephen Baxter in 1st. No surprises in who's the biggest mover in this race, and that is Stephen Baxter, who has gained 7 positions. Started in 8th after qualifying, and now finds himself leading the race. The boosted car in the race seems to have a lot of pace.
Yeah, I think Woodhouse, I think he just got into the detritus on the outside of the circuit, and yeah, that's just an excuse for me to use the word detritus. But yeah, the boosted car's looking pretty good round here. John Roberts leading the way in the Mustangs by 10 seconds now. Dale Green going for the move, Adam. Up the inside on Stuart Atkinson.
Or is he?
Turn 2. Oh, he nearly loses the rear, and Atkinson can now get back alongside. It's a long drag now under the Cheese Bridge down this long straight, which in the Mustang it seems like it goes on for an eternity, but it's a tough braking area here for this corner, which is not quite as tight as what it appears. But Dale Green decides that he's not going to risk it for a biscuit, and yeah, he decides to slot in 3rd place. He's happy with that at the minute.
Well, Tim Mawson's has bit the bullet, if that's the phrase, and has come into the pits to make a pit stop.
Well, at least he hasn't bit the dust. Then he would have been in trouble. Mawson dropping down the order then because of that visit to his garage for some fuel, just a splash it looks like for cheese and wine. But are the others going to follow suit? This is what we don't know, Sam. We don't know whether, some drivers have managed to maybe save enough fuel to get to the end. Or, I mean, you'd imagine if Mawson's coming in now that the rest of them will as well.
Yeah, so Mawson was leading, wasn't he, by a couple of seconds? So yeah, that's very odd actually.
When he hasn't had the advantage of a slipstream, I guess, but it wouldn't be that much effect, would it? Surely.
No, he could just save fuel anyway. So yeah, well, unless he's anticipating an extra lap from the leaders, but then they cross the line with 1 minute 10 to go. So yeah, I don't quite know what his logic there is, but well, if he wins, of course, we'll look like idiots. But
of course they've got. Well, that's not that won't be the first time. It won't be the last. They've still got 1 1/3 laps to go. Oh, off! Crash!
Oh, what's
It's
happened?
Dawson at the kink. He's crashed into the wall.
Stephen Dawson.
Understeered
Well,
off the circuit, onto the grass, into the wall, and surprisingly minor damage on that Jetta.
still kicking
Hardly
off
any damage.
in the battle for second place now with just 1 lap to go, or half a lap to go as we go under the carousel, or go into the carousel under the bridge. And yeah, Stephen Baxter looks away with this one. He's got an 0.8 of a second lead, but it's all on in the battle for seconds. We'll also see what's going to happen in the Jettas. They're just coming through the final corner now. Are they all going to be coming into the pits? Well, Hooper is. So is Ryan Walker. It looks like they are all coming in. We need to keep an eye on Tim Mawson now to see where he is on the circuit.
Yeah, let's have a look then. Mawson is in Canada corner now. So, the leaders. Oh, this is the problem for Mawson. Is he? I think he's going to get away with it, but he was very, very close to being lapped. Stephen Baxter has only got a couple of corners to go through. Bill Mitchell, Ben he goes.
Oh, this is going to be pretty close. This is going to be very close.
Just the final corner then for Stephen Baxter. I think he's going to be okay as Mawson, but strategy very nearly does not work. Stephen Baxter's going to come across and take the checkered flag. Is he going to lap the Jetta that's in the pits? So some of these Jettas, I think they've just all survived, and they've just all gone on to their last lap. But Stephen Baxter takes the win, and what an interesting strategy development now, because the Kias need to be careful.
Yeah, they're
they
on their
need to respect
cooldown lap,
the
aren't
Jettas
they?
that are racing still. They're still racing out there.
Now, could some of the Jettas be quarter lap down already, which eliminates them from the race?
I think they were okay. I think all of them had passed the line before Stephen Baxter got there. I was keeping close attention on that. So David Ayres was last man running in 20th place. He did cross the line to start his final lap before Stephen Baxter crossed the line and took the checkered flag. So I think that's right, Sam, isn't it? I think they've all managed to make it.
yeah, I think so. Well, Tim Wilson's gone a bit glitchy on my screen because apparently he's already finished, but I'm almost certain he is still in. He's in second. Ryan Walker's actually taking the lead. I don't quite know what happened to Tim Wilson on his outlap, but he's lost 2-second lead and is now 2 seconds behind. So
He is need to get out of the way, really, to be honest. They're kind of in the way of the Jetta drivers, really, at the minute.
Oh yeah, Stephen Baxter, by the way, has taken the victory. Second, Michael Hall, as Adam Hedgecock is able to dispose of Alexis Molina. In fact, they're continuing their battle as they go down the hill through Funza Valley.
I don't think anybody tried to do a no-stop there.
Oh yeah, John Roberts. Roberts has won the race, by the way, in the Mustangs. John Roberts, he was pretty untroubled out there, and the boosted car has taken the win in the Mustangs.
Yeah, sorry about that, John. We were just trying to see if see exactly what was going on out there. Who's leading the Jetta at the minute? Is it actually Ryan Walker again now?
It is Ryan Walker, yeah. He's just going through the kink and on his way towards Canada Bend.
Wow, how has he jumped Mawson? I mean, that's a good job by Ryan Walker.
Well, his pit stop was 6.9 seconds, Ryan Walker, compared to Mawson's 16 seconds.
Oh, wow. Well, there's your answer. But of course, he pitted later, so he had to take less fuel on board. So Mawson maybe just jumped the gun a tiny bit, didn't want to get caught a lap down, rightly so. But here comes Ryan Walker. Oh, on the grass a little bit. They exit the corner, but Walker up the hill. He's going to take the win here in the Club 73 Touring Car Championship race 1 of the evening. And it is Tim Mawson who's going to get second place. Then is it going to be Steve Hooper? It is. So Hooper coming across in 3rd place. Very solid result for him. And Adam Hedgecock, you were right. Absolutely getting Alexis Molina on the final lap. I think we're just waiting on Stephen Dawson, who survived the race despite crashing into the wall, and David Ayres. Yeah, so that was a really interesting finish, Sam, with all the, them trying to get the strategy done and just avoided being lapped.
yeah, only just I wonder if Mawson maybe took tyres or something, but yeah, good win for Ryan Walker. And yeah, well, considering that he was tapped around, he spun, I think, on gravel, so that's a great comeback drive for him.
Just want to point out, guys, sorry to butt in, but
hello.
my timing screen is still showing Tim as a lap down and Hooper is second after they've gone across the line. So maybe the final race results will show something different, but my screens are showing Hooper as second. So
I don't believe there's an issue there, mate. I'm pretty sure Mawson was definitely in front of Stephen Baxter.
Well, yeah, I know that, and we saw that as well. But I just wonder if there's some weird timing glitch gone on. What's it saying on the official iRacing?
Nürburgring when we had.
Yeah, what's it saying on the iRacing stand-ins? Because what's showing on my screen right now, I think you guys are going to have to supersede with what's being said in the sim, because somewhere along the line, it's glitched out the timing system here.
Yeah, the sim says okay, Walker, Mawson, and Hooper. Top three.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's saying that they all just avoided getting lapped. It was very, very close. David Ayres, actually, this is a bizarre start. Finished on the lead lap, but finished 3 minutes 14 seconds behind because of the. Of course, he spent 30 seconds or so in the pits after the winner had taken the checkered flag, which is always an interesting thing to happen. Right then, Adam, if you could take us through the final results then of what was a really, really good first race in the Club 73 Touring Car Championship tonight.
Stephen Baxter takes the win, 8/10 of a second ahead of Michael Hall in the end. Only a tenth behind him in third was Chris Woods, who led a good portion for this opening race. Sam Reed fourth, Miguel Freitas in fifth, then sixth for Lee Berridge with Mark Woodhouse seventh, eighth Scott Malcolm, ninth Sean Gardner, and 10th Dennis Melcher, who recovered to finish at the back of the Kias after his crash on the opening few laps of the race. And then into the Mustangs, it is John Roberts that wins the race. Second for the Canadian Dale Green. Third for Stuart Atkinson. And then into the Jetters, where we're having to do a bit of working out who finished where. Ryan Walker takes the win. Second, Tim Mawson. Third for Steve Hooper. Adam Hedgecock fifth, with Alexis Molina in fifth. And then sixth, Stephen Dawson. And David Ayres finishing in seventh place, with Robert Lundgren in 8th place, one lap down, and Lewis Bibby, despite being in the Kia, hasn't participated in practice or qualifying and didn't participate in the race either, and he finished in 22nd place.
Very much for that, Adam. So, what a great race that was in the Club 73 Touring Car Championship. And we've got another one for you in a bit. We've got the feature race coming up in just a few minutes' time here on Apex Racing TV. So join us back at the other side of the break for that one, as we cover the Club 73 Touring Car Championship presented by World League Sim Racing. We'll be back in just a few minutes' time.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Club 73 Touring Car Championship here on Apex Racing TV. And some slight technical issues afoot, so we're having trouble getting into the session, but one man who is in the session is going to take you through the race start is Mr. Alex Simpson. Alex, take it away, mate.
Yeah, you see, I'm not tardy or anything like that. Straight into the session, no toilet breaks or putting chips on or anything like that. For me, just, I'm committed here, and I'm into the session. But yeah, in all seriousness,
we've not even coming up.
We've got 3 commentators here, and none of them can get into the session. They're all saying, was it pending session or something like that? So
please wait.
We might have a little issue here, guys. But I'm going to try and take you through the race start. I can't bring you the grid because I don't have that information. He says that I might have it. So Berridge on pole, then Malcolm, Woodhouse, and Miguel Freitas, followed by Reed, Melcher, Wood, and then Baxter. And we're running out of time, so I'm going to have to flip the rest up on screen right now. Right then, 13 seconds. Come on, guys, let's get in this session.
I'm going to try and join as a driver. That might be the only thing I can do, so I'll have a little look.
Well, I think in 5 seconds that option will be out as well, because once the lights go green, got no chance.
I've all of a sudden been allowed to spectate, so we're getting in there.
Here we go then. Lights are about to come out, and they are indeed. We're away here for the feature race tonight. 30-minute race here at Road America. The Club 73 series. It's a good start from everybody with 3 wide, 2 cars deep. As we head in towards turn 1. Oh, it's tight there, but I think everybody's going to get through. No issues, sorry, I'm trying to get my timing screens and everything to work as well. Take a quick look at the Mustangs. Atkinson's away. Then Roberts already up and into second place. Dale Green in third. Molina leads the way in the Jetters as well. Everybody's got an absolutely lovely start. No issues whatsoever. And they're starting to filter themselves out as we head towards turn 3, turn 5, however you want to call it. Freitas having a look. He's second place. Side by side behind that, we've got Melcher and Scott Malcolm. They're having a great little battle through the outside. Malcolm's going to have the advantage as they swing right into this, in the F1 car it's flat hell through there, but considerable lift for the guys in the Kia. Baxter trying to work his way forward as well, late on the brakes through the downhill left-hander. I'm hearing skids here, there and everywhere. Who was that? I think that might have been Reed? I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, Sam Reed and Michael Hall.
So Adam has in fact joined us. So Adam,
Mr. Woodhouse, I think is hot on my tail. I think as well. I've just seen he's connected as well. So we're going through the King for the first time, and yeah, we've got Mark Woodhouse as the big loser in this one. 5 positions lost, but Lee Berridge is away at the moment at the front of the pack, but not for long actually, because it's going to be close as Freitas tries to get the move done into Canada corner, but no way through just yet. He's a little bit wide on the exit, Berridge there, but as long as he can get through Bill Mitchell Bend in the final corner well, they should be able to get this opening lap led. Ryan Walker versus Alexis Molina as well in the Jetters. That looks like it's changed. In fact, it's all kicking off. We've got 3 cars all fighting over the same bit of track as we go through Bill Mitchell Bend here. Walker leading the way. Mawson second. 3 positions gains for Mawson. I remember him racing a Kia here in like one of the first seasons we did of the BSRTC. Now racing in the Jetta through the final corner. And it's now all kicking off in the battle for the lead. Straight into the pit lane goes one of the cheese and wine cars. Berridge versus Freitas, and it's Freitas that's come out on top. Mawson in. He usually does that on the opening lap, Alex. He always comes in pretty early on.
Yeah, I think that's the strategy we've seen for him, and it's he didn't get lapped the last time, did he? So I think it makes sense for him to do that. But of course, I think this time he will do because we've got much longer to go.
I believe we have the Apex commentary box assembled.
Yeah, we do. We do apologise for that, everybody. He just completely banned us from joining the race session, so we were a little bit struggling for a while there. Miguel Freitas, though, not struggling at all in the lead of the Kia Optimas, head of Lee Berridge. Berridge coming under pressure from Dennis Melcher. German driver is trying to go around the outside then of Berridge, and he's doing a good job of it into the tight left-hander. And this is a good place to catch people unawares, Alex, but no surprise there from Melcher. He was already alongside him. He was already through.
Yeah, great. I mean, great start from him as well, and just pushing forward now as well. Baxter, I think, looked very, very strong last race. He's starting to work his way up as well, 4th place now, so keep an eye out for him.
This is Sam
Sammy, you with
Fitzpatrick.
us?
Are you in the session? Yeah.
Yep, so I am in the session now.
Good. Well, iRacing throwing us a bit of a curveball there, but hopefully we've not struck out on that one. And
You join us in the race session, which we were banned from.
we were indeed. Miguel Freitas, however, striking out on his own. With a good lead. He's got over a second over Dennis Melcher already, and Lee Burridge. And Alex, so important to, as we said in race 1, to get that advantage and break away from that slipstream at Road America.
It's so important. The slipstream really here. I mean, it's worth so much with those 3 massive long straights. So you do well to break away, but yeah, I think the front 2 and the Jetters have done a good job, I have to say.
Yeah, Walker and Molina, wow, nose to tail. And Tim Mawson, after pitting, obviously earlier on, he's got that nice clear track in front of him. Sam will be looking to get some good laps in here, but as we mentioned in race 1, he doesn't have any slipstream to help him out.
No, and that could be quite bad. So he might actually have to take a little bit more fuel as well, so that could be quite important. I guess Molina's got to make the move here, because Ryan Walker could potentially hold up Molina to help out his teammate, but that'd be quite an interesting tactic if he did try that. But I imagine he's just going to go for the win himself. But Molina actually falls back a little bit going into turn 1, but yeah, you'll be looking for the overtake after a bit of a disappointing race 1.
Stephen Baxter's a man on the move. He's up to 3rd position now. He's just overtaken his teammate Lee Burridge, so he's up to 5th, 5 positions gained, biggest mover in the field. Definitely got some. He either likes this track a lot, or he's got something underneath his car that is really helping him, and he's up to 3rd place now.
And Scott Malcolm going past Sam Reed going into the carousel there, holding it on the inside. This is going to be tight through the pink and a little bit off-road, a little bit of rally cross. I think he's going to hold this one. Yeah, good move there from Scott Malcolm, but well, this one isn't over. He's going to have plenty of opportunities, and in fact it's still side by side coming down to Canada corner. This is going to be a brave move if he tries it. Comes around the outside. He should have the inside line now for the next corner, and that might just get him the move, Sam Reed. Yeah, he does, but he could potentially lose it down the front straight anyway. So, but yeah, good battle down there for 8th position.
Don Roberts going for the lead, the 4 Mustangs as well. Oh, and Stuart Atkinson resisting for now, but you can tell that Atkinson's got decent pace in this car, but there goes Roberts. And Roberts just so much more consistent, Adam, and he's showing that. He showed that there, really. Atkinson's car looks like he's fighting the boosted machine.
Well, yeah, John Roberts won that opening race by quite some margin, and at the moment it looks like he's on course to do that here. He started last in class, but with only 3 cars, it didn't take him long to work his way to the front, and I wonder if it won't be too long before Stuart Atkinson has to lose the slipstream. He's getting carried along quite nicely down the front straight here, but John Roberts will soon be putting in the quick lap times. Of course, we've still got the majority of the pit stops still to go. Only Tim Mawson and Adam Hedgecock, the 2 drivers in the field to pit.
Jetters in. Walker and Molina.
Got an amazing battle for the lead, by the way.
1 pit stop. Oh wow, Kia action then. Melcher, well, his lead was, his gap was short-lived at least anyway. And here's Miguel Freitas and Stephen Baxter, race 1 winner, coming to spoil the party. Lee Burridge in there as well.
Boosted versus Team Mad then, and we saw the 2 boosted cars collide in the BSRTC. I'm sure they're not too happy I reminded them of that one, but they were trying their best to get past Team Mad.
And we saw the 2 GT Mega Racing with Team Mad cars colliding the week before as well, didn't we? Yeah, 2 teams that aren't shy of some friendly fire, should we say.
Oh, that takes me back to the days of Call of Duty. Mates used to be well mad at me for doing a bit of friendly fire.
Oh dear. I must admit, I've not played that for a while. That must get back into that a little bit. I was a bit useless though, mind you. Oh, around the outside there, completely not useless there. Stephen Baxter, he goes onto the gravel a little bit, and yeah, doesn't manage to get in that place over Miguel Freitas.
Sorry, and Tim Mawson's retaken the lead, or the virtual lead of the VWs. He is ahead of Ryan Walker and Alexis Molina, so yeah, looking good for Tim Mawson for the double.
Tables turning
no, he
there.
didn't get the double, did he? No,
It was no, it was Walker, wasn't it?
yeah, it's Walker. He won the first race, but he can win this one. And,
Be a
Tim Mawson.
cheese and wine double, and also tables turning as well. This time, Tim Mawson's pit stop phase had a much better than that of Ryan Walker and of Alexis Molina. So very strong performance in the pits this time from Mawson, making up for that first race disappointment.
Oh dear, Baxter into the back of Freitas as they go through turn 2 or turn 3, whatever you want to call it. Freitas gets absolutely shot down the order.
Look at Michael Hall, really searching for a way through. Alex, what's your preferred method of overtaking into this corner at the bottom of the hill, whichever number it is?
It's a difficult one. You've got to be well and truly alongside. If somebody's going to defend the inside, then you can run around the outside and use, of course, the runoff area, as I think we just saw someone do in the background. Because eventually, what you'll end up doing is you'll have to try and wing it around the outside of this next left-hander at the top of the crest, but then you'll have the high ground here, and that's where you can complete the move. So they're going to go defensive. There's still an opportunity for you to get that pass done.
Michael Hall having a look into what is, I think it's turn 8, bottom of the hill, and into Carousel. Long right hander, absolutely punishing Sam for these front wheel drive Kia Optimas.
Yeah, and also there's a move for the lead in the Mustangs. Stuart Atkinson managed to get the move on John Roberts, but John Roberts now down the inside going into turn 3/turn 5, and yeah, he should have that one. He could actually come back here. Stuart Atkinson down the inside, up the hill, but he would just slot back into position. As long as he stays close to Stuart Atkinson, he's going to have a chance in the slipstream. So he certainly seems to have the pace Stuart Atkinson to fight for this one.
They're having some fun out there as well, aren't they? With the smaller class today. A couple of Mustang drivers missing, so yeah, just having a good battle out there. Just having a bit of a laugh.
Into the pits comes the leader, Dennis Melcher, coming in. Car 88, and in comes his teammates in the Team Mad colours. That is Miguel Freitas, car 021. Both of them coming down the pit lane. Also in is Sam Reed. So we've got a few early takers in the Kia. We haven't even got halfway in this second race, but we've got 3 Kias coming down the pit lane now.
Baxter, by the way, hitting 245 kilometres an hour at the end of that straight. This is a fast car, this Kia Optima. It's quicker than most domestic touring cars out there. I know a BTCC car will do about 140, 145 miles an hour. These we've seen doing 170 miles an hour at some points.
The top speeds of the TCR will do. Haven't had a go on the project cars, yeah.
BTCC, I think they're about 140 as well. There's Michael Hall, going to the outside. How late is he going to be on the brakes? CQR driver. Usually, at least, Michael Hall.
Gets shown the door a bit there by Lee Berridge. Now there's a bit of traffic. This is
David
Ayres and Dawson.
Ayres currently third in the Jetta, because he hasn't pitted. I think he might have pitted actually now. Was showing third on my timing screen. We are the CQR drivers of the CQR stable. I know Hall driving obviously for it's for Team Mad, isn't it? But yeah, they're all very, very proficient on the brakes, aren't they? Like they've learned a lot from Ash Sutton in that regard.
Learned from one of the best, really, and it shows in the BTCC. He's just one race meeting away from taking the title there after winning the Jack Sears Trophy last year. Amazing progression from Ash Sutton, but yeah, Michael's doing a fantastic job.
Off.
Stephen Baxter.
King,
did he hit anything?
No.
Okay.
He's got away with it, Baxter, but he has lost momentum.
Oh, here comes
Berridge.
Berridge.
The position to lead Berridge up the inside. Contact between Hall and Baxter. Baxter's off into the gravel. Here comes
Woodhouse.
83
What are you doing,
Woodhouse. Woodhouse up the middle. Looking for any opportunity. Might have a go into the final corner here.
Oh, That looked mad for a moment, but it looks like it's been a bit of an inspired move. And he's up into third position.
In
into the pit.
goes Berridge.
Berridge, yes.
And Baxter. Well, they're blinking now. We'll see if it comes back to haunt them, or will it be the best decision they've made in this race in the Club 73 Touring Car Championship. Alex, in your opinion, mate, early stop, late stop, what's your preferred option?
I don't think it matters too much here because of the size of the circuit. Everyone spreads out on the classes, so yeah, I think it's not such an issue.
Yeah. What do you think, Sam, as well? Because obviously we mentioned about slipstream being key, and you may be gaining up to about second in the slipstream, but there's also something to be said for having that clear air, isn't there, as well?
Yeah, definitely. The way that these guys are fighting kind of seems to be losing them quite a bit of time, but yeah, the slipstream is a big advantage. Stuart Atkinson, by the way, has retaken the lead in the Mustangs, and actually they're both coming in now. I don't really know how Stuart Atkinson's doing, because every time I watch him he seems to be sideways, but it seems to be working for him up there. And John Roberts will be trying to jump him in the pit stops there.
Definitely looks like John Roberts has got more control over that Ford Mustang, I must admit. Stuart Atkinson slightly on the leery side. I reckon, Adam, that'll help John Roberts at the end of the race, though, because his tyres should be in better condition. He's not in as much danger of overheating them.
Yeah, it looks like he's doing a good job. All three of them are in then, the Mustangs. So we'll see who has the quickest pit stop time. Quickest pit stop time in the Kias. Sam Reed, he leads the virtual field really after he made his first pit stop. Freighter second, Dennis Melcher in third. So he's gone from the lead down to third place. Of course, we've got to see how the other drivers do, but yeah, a bit of a change of order there in the Kias after some of the drivers have made their pit stops.
That's one thing that it can do. It can really spread the field out. These single pit stops, these mandatory pit stops. However, we've seen that it doesn't really matter in some races, Adam. They still end up really close together at the end. So I'm not holding my breath in terms of that. I still think we've got definitely a good race on our hands here, and one that will probably go the entire distance. And look at this traffic for Michael Hall and for Woodhouse as well. And Wood's in. Maybe taking advantage of that slight chaos. As you've got Ryan Walker, Tim Mawson and Alexis Molina. So Walker back to the head of the field. Steve Hooper's in the pits. He's just leaving pit road. That's quite some distance behind the leaders there.
Bit of a gap. Chris, Wood and Malcolm in. So we'll see whereabouts these guys come out. Scott Malcolm also in, as we've just been saying. So that leaves Michael Hall and Mark Woodhouse out there at the front. Now it'll be interesting to see the pace that Michael Hall can do, because he has been in a bit of traffic in this opening portion of the race. So we'll see what pace he can get down now that he's got no one in front of him.
Yeah, and we got to see if Sam Reed can get ahead of Chris Wood here. Chris Wood's still stationary, so yeah, Sam Reed's going to easily overtake him. And I wonder how far down Chris Wood will fall. Although he's been stationary now for 30 seconds, is that? So I wonder if he had a little bit of an issue, but yeah, he's got back out into 6th place now.
Yeah, he's roughly out, I think, where he was before, a couple of seconds behind Dennis Melcher. But yeah, Wood's got the pace. We saw it in qualifying, so he should be on the back of the German driver by the end of the race, you would imagine. Lee Berridge and Stephen Baxter and Scott Malcolm going into combat as well. Scott Malcolm has had a good pit stop phase, it looks like. Adam made up some decent time there.
What a time made up actually by him indeed. So good job. Sam Reed, don't know where he's going into turn 5. This just allows Miguel Freitas to close right back up to him. So yeah, a bit of a minor mistake there going under the Corvette bridge. Leads the effective field for now, but we're still waiting to see those two come in. In terms of the Mustangs, it's Dale Green leading the way quite remarkably. 23-second stop for the Canadian, which means that he has a 5-second lead over Stuart Atkinson, whose pit stop time was about 15 seconds slower. So Dale Green obviously has got it sorted out. Maybe he didn't want to change any of the tyres at the pit stop. So yeah, interesting one there as Hall and Woodhouse come in.
Yeah, I can't remember whether tyres are mandatory or not.
I think they are. Yeah. I think you do have to take tyres.
But maybe
and a bit of fuel.
So I'm hoping he hasn't forgotten to take the tyres. Dale Green, but he wasn't that far behind. But well, maybe he was. I don't know. About 5 or 6 seconds behind these two, wasn't he? Before these two have come out completely status quo. Green is away and clear for now. Mawson is in the lead now again in the Jetters. He's under a lot of pressure from Walker, and then it's Molina. So this is swapping and changing pretty much every lap, and I feel, Sam, that it will now until the end, given the nature of the circuit.
Yeah, the cheese and wine guys are really driving this well. Down the pit straight, it was Ryan Walker who just stayed in his teammate's slipstream, forced Molina to have to get into the punch his own hole into the air. So good teamwork right now from the cheese and wine. And actually, I think down this straight, they're trying to block any option Molina has. So actually, they're driving this really well at the moment, the cheese and wine guys. But they got 10 minutes to hold on.
So then, now that the Kia pit stops have taken place, the order is Sam Reed leading the way, Miguel Freitas in second, third is Michael Hall, fourth is Dennis Melcher, fifth Chris Woods, sixth Stephen Baxter. The drivers that have lost out in this pit stop window have been Lee Berridge, Scott Malcolm and Mark Woodhouse. As the battle for the lead intensifies here, you can see the Sam Reed is taking different lines, and Miguel Freitas is just eating into that advantage, and Michael Hall's just getting ever closer as well, and they're coming up on the traffic again of David Ayres and Stephen Dawson.
Yeah, and they're pretty close together as well. Just about 1 second between them. So, but to negotiate this well here, the Kia drivers and also the Jetta drivers in that battling with each other. Can't afford to lose much time letting the Kias through. That's half the battle of mixed class racing, of course. Even if you are in the slower category, you've got to really try and minimise that time lost as the traffic goes by you. And oh my goodness me, this is very, very close between Hall, Freitas and, dear me, Sam Reed as well. Blocking for all he's worth to try and... he's off the course! He's into the wall at the kink!
Be careful, guys. This could be a dangerous rejoin. Hall's trying to find some space, and he's going to find it.
Almost chopped off Michael Hall there. Hall round the outside into Canada corner. Has he missed the corner? Has he gone too deep? No. Makes it well. He's got that momentum around the outside. He's going to have the inside for the left-hander at Bill Mitchell Ben. Through Thunder Valley. Now the last right-hander before we fly up the hill then. Great battle going on. Michael Hall leading the way at the moment. Tell you what, it is closely fought, isn't it, between Hall, Freitas and Sam Reed. And in the background you've got two very quick cars, Dennis Melcher and Chris Wood. 3.8 seconds behind the leader is Dennis Melcher. Is that too far, do you think, Sam, in the last sort of 8 minutes or so to get back?
It really depends how much time these lot lose each other. Sam Reed's last lap was very slow, an 18.9 compared to Dennis Melcher 17.2. But he's got Chris Wood right on his tail, so they may lose each other time.
Wood did a 16.6.
Yeah, so if Wood can get past her, then he could perhaps rival the top three as he comes around the outside at turn 3. Well defended there from Sam Reed. Oh, sorry, not Sam Reed. Dennis Melcher.
At this point, I'm thinking, Sam, that the tactics for Dennis Melcher would be better served if he lets Chris Wood through and just tags along behind him.
Yeah, well, the slipstream effect is so strong here. You're right. You could potentially make this a 5-car battle potentially by the end, but got a little bit of traffic to negotiate, which they do well. But yeah, Chris Wood's got to get this move done by the end of this lap, really, if he's going to catch up to the leading pack.
Adam, this is what I love about the Club 73 Touring Car Championship, is that all the classes, the battles just end up converging right at the end of the race.
Seen it quite a few times in this series and in the Ritmatech Sports Car series as well. All the classes coming together at the end can make for pretty hectic finishes. And we'll see if it happens. The same happens here as Melcher again having to put up with that pressure from Chris Wood. Very close indeed going into Canada corner. Melcher having to take the defensive line into Canada corner. Loses some speed on the exit, but thankfully for him, this sequence of corners now comes up so that Chris Wood can't really get a move done. Might try up the inside into the final corner here, but again, another corner where it's difficult to make a move stick. Just because of the wide nature of the corner. But here we go, onto the front straight again. 6 minutes to go, and Melcher and Wood continue to fight over this spot inside the top 4.
Michael Hall now going past the Jetta battle. Still pretty much nose to tail. Yeah, in the background there, Wood and Melcher. Somebody off at the front. I think maybe somebody just running a bit wide, but Melcher still ahead of Chris Wood, and it's going to be frustrating Chris Wood, because Wood will be saying we've got the pace to. Well, he thinks we've got the pace to get up there. Michael Hall actually did a 15.9 on that last lap, Adam, which was very, very quick, really. That's almost as quick as his fastest lap of the race.
Not too far off it, really, just over a tenth of a second. And fastest lap of the race currently being held by Stephen Baxter, who could be the quickest driver on the circuit if it wasn't for issues in the pit stops, as Melcher and Wood both go by the lead trio in the Jettas. And Wood having a little look at the inside there, and car 46, Mawson, almost getting involved in that battle as they got the hill under the Corvette bridge. Michael Hall running away with this one a little bit. Miguel Freitas trying everything he can to stay with him inside the final 5 minutes, but looks like Michael Hall, now that he's got that pace after the mandatory pit stop, could be starting to edge away from the Team Mad car.
It's been a very interesting dynamic between Hall and Wood and Baxter in this meeting, because Wood was lights out in qualifying. Baxter wasn't quite as good in qualifying, but he was arguably the fastest of the three in race conditions, and then Michael Hall's just arguably been the most consistent driver, Adam, out of the three. So very interesting stuff. And then you add Reed to the mix, and Freitas and Woodhouse, and you get a fantastic race. And Berridge,
yeah, doing a good job.
Here comes Wood again, really having a go at Melcher now towards Canada corner. He's got the outside line for this one, and Melcher just tries to cover him off here, ease him slightly wide on the exit, but Wood does he have an overlap? No, he doesn't. So through Bill Mitchell Bend goes Melcher, and he keeps 4th position, hanging on for dear life to this one. I think they've sacrificed now, Sam, any chance they had of joining in with the top 3, but still Melcher really protecting this 4th position well.
Yeah, but Chris Wood might be able to get the move here. He's got to get pretty much fully ahead going into turn 1, which I don't think is going to happen. It's going to be a great move if he can pull it off. He's going to have to be so late on the brakes, but Melcher hanging on the inside. I think he might have the run here, might Chris Wood, but he's going to have the outside again for turn 2. His best chance might try to be an overlap to get the run down into turn 3, which is what he's tried.
Good cut back here by Wood, side by side again, wheel to wheel down this long straight. Chris Wood's got the slight advantage, but Dennis Melcher Adams got the shorter route into the next corner, inside.
There he goes, on the inside. Chris Wood is going to get edged out onto the runoff area. And that was timed to perfection there by Dennis Melcher. Good move, and up into 4th position now.
I wonder if Wood could be served having a lunch somewhere in the middle sector, because Melcher's been very, very accurate and precise with his car positioning. Maybe into here, you maybe think about having a go up the inside and maybe catching Melcher out, but Dennis is a very experienced driver in this series. Very nearly won the Jetta category in season 1.
Also, we've got to change for the lead in the Mustangs. John Roberts has got past Dale Green. He was closing in on him very quickly, and he's got the move. I didn't see where he got it done, but yeah, John Roberts into the lead of the Mustangs.
Well, yeah, 2:26 on that last lap by John Roberts compared to the 2:28 that was done by the Canadian Dale Green in 2nd place. So the boosted car hits the front again, overtaking the core sim racing car.
Stuart Atkinson had a bad lap last time round because he lost 13 seconds to the times he was doing previously. So Stuart Atkinson, I imagine, has been maybe been for a spin somewhere. But look how close it is at the front of the Kia. Hall versus Freitas. We've only got, I'd imagine, 2 laps to go here at Road America. The Club 73 Touring Car Championship presented by World League Sim Racing. We're on Apex Racing TV. Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath, Stan Fitzpatrick and Alex Simpson bringing you all the coverage from the Road America circuit. And Miguel Freitas is trying the outside line on Michael Hall then. Hall has the inside, a better line than Freitas. Freitas has got the momentum. Going to try now in turn 2 to keep that line. Ooh, very late on the brakes. Trying to do the old wall of death around the outside, as Brundle likes to describe it as. And very, very close. And the side draft now might come into play, Adam, in these Kia Optimas. It's only slight, there's the side draft here, but it does make a difference. And in fact, Hall lets him through.
Yeah, it might be of abiding his time, but this is the final lap of the race, so maybe an issue with fuel, I don't know. But Hall did have a slightly quicker stop as Miguel Freitas goes wide going through turn 5, and that allows Hall to close in again.
Got to be fuel issues for Hall.
24.2 second stop.
He didn't even try and gain the lead back there when he saw Melchett made a mistake. He might have just, his race might just be run in terms of competing for the victory. We'll see though. I mean, we've seen fuel issues in the past having this championship, so I wouldn't put it past any of them. Look at this Jetta battle. Look at Molina. He's trying to get through the 2 cheese and wine cars, making a blockade in front. Into turn 5 they go. Side by side then. Into the middle sector, and it's Tim Mawson who's regained the lead from Ryan Walker. Molina trying to almost push his way through. And yes, Sam, what a battle we've got in the last couple of laps.
Yeah, I feel so sorry for Molina, because I reckon he might well be the fastest out of these 3, but the cheese and wine cars have driven this to perfection. They've literally just driven a blockade for the past 20 minutes of the race, just not allowing Molina to get past, and a perfectly choreographed victory here for cheese and wine, should they hang on to it for these final few corners.
Perfectly legitimate tactic, of course. I mean, they are in the TeamSpeak channel together, Alex, and you know, they'll be negotiating, discussing strategies. But here comes Miguel Freitas, and he doesn't need the strategy anymore because he takes the win.
Yeah, good race from Miguel. One of the quickest pit stops out there, really took him to the front. Where is the likes of Roberts? So Roberts hasn't finished yet, so he's got a whole lap to go. Where are Mawson and co? I think that's going to be the next battle to cross the start-finish line. Walker got about 3-4 tenths. I think it's more going to be him defending second place than anything here.
Oh, they're all very close. He's off! Oh. He's got off Ryan Walker. He's in the gravel. Is it going to cost him second place? He comes across.
Oh, no.
That's not at all. You can't do that. Can't do that.
Oh, we're going to have an almighty shunt on our hands there with the tyre wall, but somehow they both survived. Second place for Walker.
Tim Mawson wins, Ryan Walker second, but controversy there reigns because
you won't be happy with that.
That is not really what you need to be doing at all, and I think the stewards will be having a long look at that one. Adam, you just can't really, you can't come back on the track like that.
Not really, no. We've seen some bad rejoins at like Mid-Ohio, but that wasn't the best one. I can understand Ryan Walker's situation, it being the last lap and fighting for a championship and all that. But if in another world or another universe, it would have been an absolute disaster for Alexis Molina. Would have hit the wall and probably would have been a retirement and not able to get to the finish line. So I wonder if the stewards World League Sim Racing will take a look at that between this race meeting and the next one.
Yeah, I think because that was, you know, I think he would have been better served, Sam, just staying behind, staying in the slipstream of Mawson. I think he would have survived it.
Yeah, he pushed through. I wonder maybe he went for the win, perhaps Ryan Walker. I don't know, but I think when he came onto the circuit, he didn't realise that Molina was alongside him. So
he'd have stayed on that left-hand side. I think he'd have still picked up the slipstream
probably,
from Tim, you see.
Yeah.
So
I think it was just a bad reaction, really, and just
rush of blood, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I say no harm done. No crash, at least, for those guys, Adam. But definitely Alexis Molina will be feeling a little bit aggrieved by that one. John Roberts, here he comes across the line. He wins in the Mustang. That was a hard-fought one for John Roberts. He had to get past both his teammate Stuart Atkinson and Dale Green. Yeah, Roberts winning there in the smallest category of the evening. But he'll be happy with that, Adam. He's driven a good meeting nevertheless. He gets the full points, and if there's a full category back next week, then he'll have that advantage.
Pretty happy with that, yeah, John Roberts. Dale Green's strategy didn't look like it was going to reap him the rewards in the long term. But good job to second place there for the Canadian, and Atkinson in third. 3 really good drivers, but in such a short class, there's not too many positions to fight over. But John Roberts, good race meeting for him, and 2 wins in the sprint and the feature race.
Yeah, that'll be. I think that's very, very well deserved indeed. And Adam, if you could do us a favour and read out the finishing order for us as Stuart Atkinson celebrating with some donuts.
Miguel Freitas takes the win, then second Sam Reed, third Michael Hall, who's Kia Optima starting to choke before the end of the race. A few drivers made a few mistakes with the fuel. Lee Berridge just saying on the iRacing chat problems he had. Dennis Melchert in fourth, fifth Chris Woods, sixth Lee Berridge, who I think overcalculated the fuel possibly, hence why he was so far down the order. Stephen Baxter, who had the quickest car in the field in both races, but wasn't able to translate it into a win in race 2, finishes in 7th. 8th, Scott Malcolm, 9th, Mark Woodhouse, and then into the Mustangs. It is victory again for John Roberts. Dale Green, the Canadian, finishing in 2nd. 3rd for Stuart Atkinson, and into the Jetters. Tim Mawson takes the win there. 2nd, Ryan Walker, so a 1 and a 2 for Walker. He was involved in late drama with Alexis Molina, who finishes in 3rd. Steve Hooper 4th, Stephen Dawson in 5th, David Ayres in 6th, and then Robert Lundgren in 7th. And then Adam Hedgecock rounds out the 20-car field in 8th placing class.
Right then. Is pretty much all we've got tonight, although we do have Ryan Walker in the interview channel. So we'll see what we can do here. Ryan Walker joins us in the commentary box. Well, I wonder, Ryan, well done for the race 1 victory, of course, but I wonder if you get in a bit of bother for that move at the end of the second race.
Yeah, that incident at the end of race 2 of Alexis, it wasn't intentional. I just ran wide and hit the bump and got some damage and steering damage, and there was just nothing I could do, and tried to slow down as much, or tried to leave as much room as possible when I joined, but got caught up with him, which I apologise for, and if I get protested for it and get punished for it, then that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes in racing.
Oh, so you had bumps caused like a bit of suspension damage, did they?
Yeah, it caused a bit of suspension damage on the left front, so trying to steer and keeping a straight line was a bit of an issue, but that's no excuse for what happened. And if I get punished for it, then I'll happily take it on the chin.
Well, I mean, let's have a quick look. I'm just having a quick look at it on the replay. Yeah, you were steering as far left as you could, so there's any issue there in the end. But again, it's one of those things where the stewards are going to maybe have to have a look at it, take it into account. But race 1, very, very positive for yourself anyway. You managed to get it on pit stop strategy, really, in the end. 10 seconds quicker than Tim Mawson's stop, so must have been in and out of the pits in good order.
Yeah, I decided to take the risk and see what the other guys in front of me and behind me were doing. I tried to run the tank as empty as possible, and as I entered the pits, I had about 0.2 litres left. It started spluttering, and I decided to risk it and basically just add only 0.7 or 0.8 litres of fuel just to get me round for the last lap, and started spluttering again as I came across the line. So yeah, my fuel calculations, which I'm not really good at, seemed to work out this time.
Excuse me. Well, I'm glad they did. And you want Sam? Have you got anything for Ryan at all?
Ryan, my usual question. I'm just looking at the calendar for where we go next week. You might know more than me. But as I get the calendar up, there it is. Next week we head to Okayama in Japan. So from the wide open speeds of this to the tight and twisty nature of Okayama, how do you reckon the Jetter's gonna go around there?
I've never really raced a Jetta around Okayama before, to be honest. Or I think I have. I can't remember. yeah, it's one of those tracks I seem to really enjoy, and yeah, and hopefully I can get a couple of good results again there next week, and hopefully try and keep the challenge for the championship on. But yeah, it'll be a tough it'll be a tough job because there's so many quick drivers in the Jetta. So, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. And as I say, if we get a good couple of results, then it should shape up nicely in the championship.
All right. Well, like I say, good luck for those, mate. And yeah, we'll catch you next time.
Right, thanks very much.
Cheers. Ryan Walker there, race 1 winner, podium in race 2.
Clearly, the cheese snorting's been helping him out the last few weeks.
I think you're right. I'm not sure he said he was snorting it, but that's fine. He can do that as well if he wants, I guess. It's a free country. Alex, I did have a quick look at the replay while we were talking to Ryan, and came back on the track, and he was full lock to the left. So the car must have been damaged in some way. So
yeah, that makes sense then. So it did come across viciously, didn't it? So hopefully he'll be all right. Hopefully Alexis can see that as well, and he's apologised to him already. So
only one
in
position.
the end, there was no foul there. They avoided contact, didn't they? So should be okay.
Okay. Right then, everybody. We are going to be back at the Okayama circuit next week, but that's all from Road America tonight on Apex Racing TV, the Club 73 Touring Car Championship presented by World League Sim Racing. We'll be back for the Rickmatic Sports Car Series in the early hours of Tuesday morning, followed by BSR Formula Renault as it enters its final stages, and then the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship, as we're going to find out who's going to be in the showdown. From all of us here, from Andrew Woodhouse, from Adam Bath, from Sam Fitzpatrick, and from Alex Simpson, it's goodbye from Apex Racing TV, and we'll see you next time.
From far away they came to us with knowledge. They changed our